D, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, James.
Man, I'm glad to see you.
Thank you for asking me. Yes.
I'm glad to see you, D. I really am. I
Glad to
really
be
am.
here. Glad to be somewhere seen.
Yes, yes, there you go. So, D, we want to talk about a couple of things. First part of what we want to talk about is how you got to Muncie.
Well, it's kind of a long story. I had never heard of Muncie before, and I was working as a high school counselor in Gary, Indiana. And I was counseling students to come to college. I was helping them with their, college applications and scholarship applications and funds like that. My boss, my immediate supervisor, person who hired me, was a Ball State graduate. And I just got out of college, out of the Army, and just got married and had my daughter. My wife and I had our daughter 2 years later. And my supervisor said to me, D, you have a good technical sound foundation from the Army and from high school and from living in Gary, but you don't have a degree. And we need to get you a degree so that you can move on to the next level. So I said, well, a degree, all I'm thinking about is working and supporting my family and staying out of trouble. But what she did, she networked with her contacts down here in Muncie. She said, D, I'm going to take you down to Muncie, Indiana. And I said, Muncie, where is that at? And I'm pretty good at geography, but I had never heard of Muncie. She said, that's where Ball State University is. Now, I had heard of Ball State, but I never knew where it was located at. So she said, we're going to go down to Ball State, and they're starting a new program called non-traditional students. And, when you say college, you think about 18, 19-year-olds just graduating from high school going on to college. You're not thinking about a 27-year-old man straight out of the Army and married with a young child and working. You don't think about that type of, situation, having two adults like that. My wife was 26 at the time, and we were middle school, high school sweethearts. So we had been going together for a long time. So we said, okay, let's try it. So she didn't have her degree either. She was working her job and I was working my job. So we came down to Ball State, and lo and behold, we got a chance to meet the director of the admissions office at Ball State. His name was Dr. Roray. And Dr. Roray brought us into his office, sat down and talked with us, and saw what, kind of got an idea of what kind of adults we were, mature adults, and working and wanting to further our education and get the degree to move on, to the next level. So he said, well, Dee and Brenda, you two are the types of students that we're looking for here at Ball State. And we're thinking, what do you mean looking for? I'm thinking 18, 19-year-old students. He said, no, we're starting a new program. It's called the non-traditional student, made up of older adults who have been in the work area and, have matured and want to further or complete their education. So what happened, they started the ball rolling, and we transferred our credits from Wilberforce University over in Ohio, where we had gone for 2 years. And lo and behold, come August of 1976, we were enrolled in Ball State.
Okay. It's interesting about his coming to Muncie, right, Stuart? If you go back with my history, I didn't know anything about Muncie. The guy prophesied my being in Muncie 30 years before I got here. It was amazing how
Yeah.
it happened.
Right.
And I got here, you know, this is just where I fit. The university is the kind of people that they were looking for. You were the kind of people, the kind of student. Okay, well, it seemed like you're the kind of person the Muncie's looking for, too, as a whole, you know?
Well, as it turned out, the first individual outside of the admissions office that I met came to Gary, Indiana to recruit other students, and his name was Phil Dunn. And as it turned out, Phil Dunn, almost 40 years later, is one of my good friends. He is the first person I met outside of the admissions office from Muncie. And then what's ironic, James, is this, that when we came to Muncie in '76, it was a whole year we were on campus. And a lot of times back then, I don't know if they're still doing it now, but back then they would tell most of the students that were from out of town, don't venture on this side of town. Okay, don't go to Whiteley. I never heard of Whiteley. I never heard of Crosstown. I never heard of Industry. I've never heard of Shedtown. I never heard of Middletown, Indiana, none of that stuff. And for a whole year, I spent all of my time on campus. What's interesting about it is that after that year, I was invited to come to church, and by Phil Dunn's mother, invited my wife and I to attend their church, which was Calvary Baptist Church. And that was the first time we had ventured together on this, over the bridge, as they say, from down on the east side of downtown Muncie. And some 10 years later, that started the ball rolling to me spending more time on this side of town than I did on campus after that. I did a lot of volunteering, a lot of working with young people, because that's what I did in Gary. And as it turned out, I was coaching basketball, coaching track, coaching volleyball, dodgeball. I was doing all of it as a Ball State volunteer. And I was heavily involved with activist, types of activities, protesting and speaking out on various issues on campus. And as it turned out, I became the president of the Black Student Association at Ball State. And I ran for the office. I won the office, and I served for 2 years as political vice president and then president of the organization.
Wow, you perfect.
James, one of the blessings is that I grew up in Gary, Indiana, and I grew up down the street from the Jackson 5. I grew up with them, and back in my era, and I'll be 67 years old next week, and during my time, talent shows and entertaining and was a big thing, bigger than basketball. Basketball is a big thing down here. Basketball is a big thing up north too. But talent, performing on stage was a big thing up there. And I was surrounded by talented people. And my forte is I enjoy making other people look good in front of the camera. I'm the guy behind the camera that's crossing the T's and dotting the I's and producing and directing. I love doing that. It is embedded in me. And as a former manager of an 11-piece band and a former manager of dancers and singers and all of that, what I did, I just happened to have an opportunity to bring that down here to Muncie. And when I got down here, I think that the atmosphere was more sports related than it was entertainment related. And it was like pulling teeth trying to get, kids involved in entertaining on stage. So I kind of backed away from it and concentrated more on the sports element of coaching and starting Muncie's Hershey's track and field program, which was really big here in Muncie. We had a lot of youth and a lot of volunteers, and we held the state championship here in Muncie 2 years in a row. We were chosen as the place. So it's been a lot of things that have happened, in the period of time of 10 years or more that I was involved in with Muncie's Parks and Recreation program. Well, and there's been a lot of talented people, and what I get off of Mike is that he feels the same way. He has been an inspiration to me in that he's been involved in maybe some negative activity before, and a lot of times Muncie kind of judges you, and they don't let it go. They think you're going to be that way for the rest of your life. And what he said to me was, Mr. Harris, all I want to do is turn my image around. I want to create an image and let people know in my hometown that I am about doing positive things and not negative things. So I said, well, Mike, if you're willing to do that, I'm willing to. Muncie, the United States is a country of second chances, and if you're willing to want to, devote your time and energy to a second chance, I'm willing to work with you and make sure you reach that goal that you set for yourself. So we formed our company, and it is, we're not controlled by anybody. It is our company. It is a Afro-American black company, and we're about the business of building it to the point that we can put people to work. We can, develop jobs and share in the prosperity of people being able to earn a decent wage at helping us keep our company going and growing. So that is one of the blessings that I appreciate about my foundation that I received while growing up in Gary, Indiana.
You have a lot of connections. A lot of connections. You're involved with a lot of people doing a lot of things.
Correct.
I think it's interesting that when you mention jobs, that the future, that you're trying to establish something consistent for youth, for anybody who can work.
Yes.
Well, you are in the entertainment business, and this is where a lot of these young people, that's what they like to do.
Correct.
That's what they like to do, and they're running around the neighborhoods, and they're just wasting their time and their energy. They're not going forward because they've got no guidance to go forward. What I think that you offer, D, is that you not only create an opportunity, a door, but values once people come in that door. It's like you have a character.
Right.
You have certain principles that you live by.
Yes.
People that associate with you, they have them same principles.
Correct.
So that you get young people around you and what you're doing and involved in what you're doing, but they gain at least a knowledge of what it means and what it looks like to be a good person. Right.
It's about giving back, and I've made the commitment to myself, and I'm James, I'm not embarrassed by saying I sit up and talk to myself about what D. Harris has to do. I cannot criticize somebody else about what they're not doing if I'm not trying to do something myself. And a lot of times, we as black people, we are consumers. We like to be seen at the mall buying this and buying that, instead of creating our own and developing our own and developing our young people to have their own. We tell them to go get a job. Well, why can't I tell you to go get a business, start a business, start your own company, start your own factory, start your own product, create your own product. So instead of saying go work for somebody, go be the boss, go create jobs for somebody. And I believe in it. That's what I want to do. Hopefully I can get it done before I leave this life to the next life. But my everyday encouragement speech and statement is, when I talk to people, I talk to them about creating their own, get their own property, get their own house, get their own company, get their own business, create their talent, develop the talent that the Lord has blessed them with. Whatever it is, what your talent is. As long as it's not hurting somebody else and it's not illegal to the laws of this country, I want you to be the best at what it is you do.
Okay, D, let's move to the event next month.
Yes. We're very happy to announce that we're having our Mother's Day edition MUNCIE citywide comedy jam. And it will be on May the 7th, which is that Saturday, the day before Mother's Day. And we're encouraging all of MUNCIE. This is not open just to a segment of MUNCIE. That's why we named it citywide. It's open to all of MUNCIE and all of the communities surrounding MUNCIE in Delaware County and beyond. That we're bringing in talent from Atlanta, from as far as Chicago, from Las Vegas, Los Angeles, everywhere we can find good quality entertainment, we're bringing them to MUNCIE. Our goal is, I learned a long time ago, one of my good friends, he's passed on now, but his name was Odell Scott. Mr. Scott MUNCIE used to be the hub for all types of Count Basie and all types of big bands and all types of quality entertainment. In fact, my uncle, who was a drummer, he was in a jazz group that played MUNCIE when they did what they call a chitlin circuit. They would come through MUNCIE and play MUNCIE, and he used to tell me about it, but I didn't know where MUNCIE was, and so I've heard stories about it. Mr. Scott used to bring in quality acts from New York and Chicago and all over the place. And then, after a while, it fell by the wayside. So what we want to do is pick that back up and bring in talent, quality talent to MUNCIE, whereby people will not have to, every time something entertainer comes in this area, they got to drive to Indianapolis or drive to South Bend or drive to Fort Wayne to see them, and then pay $60, $70 a ticket. You were at the show Saturday night. Where are you going to see J.J. Williamson for $5? Come on. Or $10, or 2 for $15. You're not going to see this guy. This guy was fantastic. I mean, people are still talking about how good the show was. The other entertainers, Marcus Combs, our host, who does a fantastic job. And then to bring on J.J. Williamson, who has been in movies and on Def Comedy Jam and opened up for some of the top entertainers in the industry. And he's in MUNCIE. And he said it on the show where he never heard of MUNCIE, Indiana. But he did it so well that you knew he's a natural. He's a natural funny guy. And on top of it, being funny without any kind of profanity, any kind of vulgarity, any kind of cursing whatsoever. And to do that, you are a very talented person, because it's so easy to use profanity left and right. And when you go to shows in Indy, a lot of the indie shows are like that. And to have people come, church, to be able to, you're in church and maybe you're not in church, but you don't want to pay your money to sit and listen to a bunch of vulgar words, and it's embarrassing, and you want to bring your wife or your girlfriend or your mother, and you sitting there with them and it's cussing going on. Every comment that I've received has been all positive. Hey, D, what you and Mike are doing and what Marcus Wayne is doing, bringing the good entertainment to MUNCIE is great. It is great for MUNCIE because MUNCIE always talks about there's nothing to do here. There's nothing there, to do here. But the fact that you guys are trying to bring it here on a once a month basis, that's fantastic. So what we're trying to do is encourage people. Hey, this is the time for this show. Take your mom out to dinner. Take your wife out to dinner, and then come to the show. The doors open at 7 o'clock. The show starts promptly at 8. I'm out there on stage before 8 o'clock, letting people know how much we appreciate them being there, how much we appreciate their prayers, and that this project is very successful for Muncie. And that show starts on time. We've made an emphasis. One show we had to wait on someone, but now from now on we're not waiting on any. We're starting the show on time, so that because we know people have other things they want to do, and they don't want to sit there for an hour waiting on the show. So May 7th, the doors open at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $10. You can get them online from cornerstone.org. cornerstoneforthearts.org for 2 for $15, or you can go up to the Cornerstone reception desk and get them. But there'll be people in town that will be selling tickets, $10 a piece, and we encourage everybody to get your ticket, because we are looking for this show to really sell out of tickets, because people want to. We're encouraging everybody to bring your mom. And if you, like me, I had 3 different moms, and they're not living now, but I would have brought all 3 of them there if they were. But if your mom's not living, bring your wife, bring your girlfriend, bring somebody that you consider to be your mom, that has, the lady down the street. At my town, if I acted up down the street, I got a whooping down there and got a whooping when I got home, because everybody knew one another. So that's the kind of camaraderie that's going on in Muncie. Everybody's somebody's cousin or related in some way. So we're encouraging people, bring your aunt, bring your sister, bring somebody, and come to the show on May 7th. It's going to be a fantastic show.
Well, D, I'll tell you, it was a pleasure for me to be there. I've never been to a comedy show before. Okay. And I don't sit up and watch people talk and laugh at what they say.
Right, okay.
I'm a kind of, I've got a sense of humor, but yes. I'm more of a serious person.
Right, I understand.
And man, I tell you,
I am too, yeah, I
tell you,
yeah.
D, I sat up there and listened to this man, and just fell out.
Yeah.
He was so funny. He was so funny.
He's a natural.
He was so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole house, from the time he got there to the time he got off, was nothing but laughter.
Right.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Right.
Nothing but laughter. In fact, that's going to be part of this video. People to see,
And let me say this too, James, right quick. He did something that told me right away that he's natural. He's naturally funny. The reason he did, for the first time we had a program for the show, because we felt that people would come in, they would come in right at 7 o'clock, and they got to wait for a whole hour before the show starts. So what are they going to do? So they listen to the music, but then that's about it. So I said, well, we need to take our shows to the next level. And so we put together a program to let them read and see some of the ads that we're going to get from sponsors and all of that, and the churches and different people that want to put ads in the paper, like celebrating in the program, celebrating their mother and their family and all of that. So he made a joke about it. He said he had never been to a comedy show where they had a program. Well, Mike thought that, I might be, thought he was getting on me. It was corny to have a program at a comedy show. But he made a joke about it, and it was, I was so proud of the fact that he just naturally made a joke about it, and it was funny, and I said, well, everybody looked at me like, D, he's insulting. No, he's not. He's complimenting us, because he'd never been to a comedy show, where there's ever been a program where you've ever had popcorn and pop and no liquor, and clean comedy show. And he just told me how naturally funny and creative he is, because he made that part look so funny. I was back there just laughing my head off, because it was so funny to me, because I knew I had stayed up all night putting the program together, no sleep, no nothing. I got my son to print it off for me, and we went through some hassles to do it. And just for him to acknowledge that and make a funny joke, he did almost what? Couple minutes on it.
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Yeah, on that, on the program, reading the program like he was in church and stuff. I was like, I said, this dude is funny. And that was excellent.
Another thing that I noticed that now the show was supposed to last from 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, normally we get out between 10 and 10:30.
Okay.
And then we have the after party.
I was thinking, well, I looked at my clock and it was after 10:30. It was going 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. It was,
I mean, people didn't want to go.
Nobody left.
Nobody left. I didn't see not one person get up and leave.
Right, you're right. And James, they came back after intermission.
Yes.
Everybody came back. Didn't nobody go home. Even they had never seen this guy and just heard his name, and people wanted to see him. So all the people came back. Nobody got up and left. And I was proud of that moment. I really was proud. I've been proud of all our shows, even though the attendance hasn't had to pick up and grow. Just like anything, when you plant a seed and plant a flower, it's got to grow. You got to water it, you got to nurture it, and wait for it to grow. And that's what we're doing. We're not in it for a one-shot deal. We're in it to win it. We're in it. I'm not giving up. And we're going to be here. We're going to be giving shows. We have a contract with Cornerstone till the end of the year. And in fact, we've had one renewal. We had a 4-month contract, and they liked what we were doing and where we were going with it, and so they renewed it with us. And now we renewed it till the end of the year. So we're pretty proud of that fact.
Well, D, I see that there's a lot of positive in this,
Yes.
On a lot of different levels.
Yes.
It goes from the bottom to the top level.
Yes.
It's all inclusive of all people.
Yes.
And it's I think it's a wonderful thing to happen here at this time.
Correct.
And what I'm looking at is that the progression, the evolution of your efforts from the first day to this day.
Right.
And
Correct.
it's a constant movement upward, forward.
Correct.
It's beautiful,
Right.
man.
And we're working on some big surprises for Muncie. We've got some things on the drafting table that is going to blow Muncie away. And we're just working on how we can put it together, how we can attract some investors, people maybe of like mind who want to help us accomplish what we're setting out to do. And but we want to have number one acts come to Muncie, people that you normally wouldn't expect to be on a stage in Muncie, Indiana. That's our goal. So it's going to be a tremendous opportunity for Muncie, and we're looking forward to it. It just, when you shine light on something, it dispels all the darkness. All the darkness tends to go away. It fades away. So we want to put a lot of spotlight on the positive things that are happening in Muncie.
So now this next show is in
May.
In May.
Right.
May 7th,
May
right?
7th.
Okay.
Yes.
And you are welcoming anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah,
it's open to everybody.
Especially sad people.
Oh, it's open to everybody.
If they're unhappy, then this is the place to go for that night, because they might get a smile on their face.
Well, see, James, what's good for me, what's good for my spirit and my soul is when I stand on that stage at the beginning of the show and I look out and I see people, all the people in the audience that I've either served on a project with, or just like I'm talking to you one-on-one, or been on the street corner, or been to the bank, to make a deposit or something, and they're working in the bank. I look out into the audience and I see all of my friends, people that I know, that I've served with, I've done something with, and they're supporting us. They're praying for us, and they're supporting us. And I say to myself, man, one day I'm going to look out there and I'm going to see people in the balcony. And I'm telling you, James, I'm going to do a flip right there on stage. I might kill myself and might break my leg, but when I look up there and I see the tech person and the light guy up there, I see the DJ up there, but I don't see anybody sitting in chair, in the seats up there. But when when I look out and I see all the seats on the lower level, and there's 600 seats out there on the lower level and 500 in the balcony. When I look up there and see people sitting in the balcony, man, oh man, you just don't know how much that it's going to make my heart feel so happy to see people coming out and supporting a project that was birthed in Muncie, Indiana. Homegrown, started. You will never hear me say, well, you know, we did this in Vegas, we did this in Hollywood. No, we did it in Muncie, Indiana.
I want to ask you one more question about the event of the food.
Yes.
Listen, honestly speaking,
Yes.
I ate that chicken.
Yes.
I had a breast of chicken that was that big, and one of two.
Mm-hmm.
I ate that chicken and my head started sweating. What does that mean? That means it was very, very good.
Okay.
That chicken, man, was for real. That chicken was maybe in the upper 10 level of chicken I ever ate in my life.
Well,
and that even includes the chicken that my mom cooked for me.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it. I think my daughter is she's our event planner. She's with me, event planning, and that's Monique's Elegant Expression, and I helped her start her own company, and that's her company, and she does event planning. Her name is Tasha Harris, and what she does, she puts that together for Mike and myself and H&H. So she's the spearhead of the after set. She does our after set. She also does, and let me add this too quickly, she is spearheading our date night basket that we give away at every show. We have a date night raffle basket of a lot of goodies from merchants in Muncie and around Muncie that donate to the basket that we give away. And we have a raffle, and you can purchase the tickets for $1 or 6 for $5. For the May 7th show, we're doing a Mother's Day basket. And one mother is going to win this basket on that show. After the intermission, we're going to have a drawing, and a mother in the audience is going to win that basket that night. So, and she does a tremendous job of putting that together, and that takes us to another level. You know, nobody's doing nothing like that, giving back to the community. The other point is, we're donating. We have what we call a give back program, and in our program we pick out one charitable organization in the city of Muncie that we are donating a portion of each ticket that is sold to our shows back to that organization. This year we've chosen the Muncie Unity Center, where the kids and families and all of that we're going to make a contribution for Thanksgiving and Christmas baskets to feed families during that period of time. So we're giving money back to the community, and if we continue this thing, we'll choose another charitable organization for the 2017 year that we're going to be working with. And instead of, we could give, $50 here, $25 there. What we're doing, we're calculating each show, and we're taking a portion of each ticket that's sold to each show, so we can put it all together in one big check that we can give to that organization at the end of the year.
So it's amazing.
Yes, it is.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And I know too that people that I know around the city that I was looking out in the audience, and I seen them sitting out there.
Yeah, these are people that normally don't go out. Yeah,
they don't go nowhere.
Yeah, they normally don't go out. And yes,
they do nothing. They do nothing.
Yes.
And I know Mike was one of my friends.
Yes.
And I was really surprised to see him there, because he came up and pat me on the back. I said, "What's happening, man?" And he said, but it's amazing for it to be available like that.
Yes.
And to see all these people that I know anyway.
Yes.
And they're all coming to this one place.
Right.
I said, wow.
I can't tell you, James, how many hands I shook of people that say, "Hey, D, thanks, man. We needed this. This is what we need in Muncie. We need an opportunity to take our wives out, or take our husbands out, to be able, or our boyfriends or girlfriends, or just come out ourselves, to something that we don't have to feel scared or feel that it's something bad is going to jump off, or negative vibrations or whatever, we can come out, have a good time, and go home.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and like one guy said, "Hey D, I normally we don't come out. We don't come out after 6 o'clock at night. You know, until the next day when we go to work. You know,
Yes.
we don't come out. But because you're not doing it in such a way that it's every other day or every other week. Once a month, that's cool. We get our laugh on, we enjoy ourselves, and then we, wait for the next one. So we're pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud of it, and I know Mikey is also, and H&H is about the business of creating quality entertainment. And like I say, we're not just going to do clean comedy. We're looking at bringing in R&B, jazz, gospel.
Oh.
We're talking about producing some really fabulous entertainment shows on every genre, every level, every appreciation part for the audience. For people like myself, I like Motown music. I like all kind of good quality entertainment. And when I go to a show, I don't look at it with my mouth wide open, because I've seen a lot of stuff. So I look at it for the technical part of it, what's good about it, what's bad about it, what they need to improve and all of that. So we're always open to quality, constructive criticism, constructive suggestions from people. I want people to come up to us, hey D, you guys ought to consider bringing in so-and-so. Hey, okay, well, we'll put her on our list. We'll put them on our list. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it from the entertainment aspect and from the business aspect. Yeah, it's got to be, they both go hand in hand. So we got to make sure that the show is going to be well attended, and from an economic standpoint, that it is is a viable project. So we got to look at all of that stuff, and that's what we do.
Well, D, I also comment on the type of people that are affiliated with you, the
Yes.
ones that I met.
Right.
I never met these people before.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Mike, his mom lives right across the street from me. I never even seen the man, and I've been here 20 years.
You never met?
I never met, and I talk to Perry all the time. So,
Yeah.
what was my point?
It's how it's networking and opening doors.
Yeah, opening
people.
doors for
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
right. It's networking and opening doors for people.
Right.
And it's like the right people for it, to make it better,
Yes.
is drawn to it.
Yes.
Even just the audience, these are the right people for it. I will listen to these people laugh. I
Yes.
haven't heard people laugh like that in a long time.
Right.
It was
you
loud
respond.
laughter.
Yes.
It was loud laughter,
And-
happy.
Yes.
Hefty. People were jumping up in the
Correct.
seats and
Yes.
things like
Yes.
that, man. It was really enjoyable.
And here's the other thing, Jay. The comedians came to me, and I said, what y'all think? Man, I can't wait to come back to Muncie.
Yes.
I like Muncie.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell all, and see what happens. The comedians, they congregate in a community of themselves. They interact with other comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done since our very first show, they've gone back to their comedic communities and said to the other comics, hey man, Muncie's okay. They paid us, they fed us, they housed us, they greeted us real good, they was happy we came, and they go back and talk to the other comedians and see how that makes it a lot easier for us to negotiate to get them to come to Muncie. J.J. Williamson, he's from Mississippi, and he never heard of Muncie, and yet he plays like 10,000 seat arenas and more. He opens up for Cedric the Entertainer, and Ricky Smiley, and all of those big names. Martin Lawrence. These are guys that get $100,000 a show, and he's opening up for them. And he makes 10 times more money than we are able to pay. But he said, okay, my guy asked me to come to Muncie. He's my guy. I'm going to do it for him. And now that he did it for him, he said, man, I was apprehensive about, but he's my guy. So I said, okay, but I really didn't want, I didn't want to come to Muncie. Now, it ain't even about his guy no more. It's about Muncie. You know, Muncie. He said, D, man, hey, I want to come back to Muncie. I like Muncie. You know,
Yes, sir.
so that's good.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's a powerful force, a positive force in opposition to all this violence we've been having
Yes.
in this town lately. And so, D, you continue, man, to do what you do, you know, and you're doing it better and better all the time.
James, I'm going to do it till my casket comes.
Well, I feel the same way. That's
I'm
why
going to do this. I'm not the kind of guy that sits on the couch watching soap operas and stuff, and that's all I do. No, that's not me. I never did it since I've been born. And my family has always been active politically, active in the church, active in doing social, civic events. I learned from that, and I brought it to Muncie, and I'm going to continue till I go to my grave.
we appreciate you coming and talking to us today, D.
Yes, sir. Thank
We
you
really
for the
appreciate
opportunity.
you.
I appreciate
You
it.
really enlightened us on
Thank
some
you.
things
Thank
and
you.
knowledge about the city and things
Yes.
going on and what you are about and your communication and your relationship with people, you know, and
Yes.
how you're trying to do positive things and encourage
Yes.
people to do positive things. So we're gonna pick this up again sometime. This has been a beautiful interview. I've enjoyed myself.
I appreciate the opportunity.
I've learned
Thank
a
you.
lot of things. I've learned a lot of
Thank
things.
you. Thank you.
A lot of things just in this 2 hours.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.